right, I'm out here with the infamous Mike Walding. We're hunting a spot here, and I just got the new Equinox. I've been waiting for this thing since September. It came last night at like 8 o'clock. The UPS guy dropped it off. Been hunting a little spot here, just getting junk, and I got a solid 14 on this Equinox, and I thought, well, I remember nickels are 13, and I popped it out of the hole, and this is what flew out. If that's what I think it is, I might have just paid for a good chunk of this detector.
Just kind of rub the back end, underneath part.
Whoops.
Right there, right.
Yeah.
Turn it over to the center, to this.
There you go. Oh, that's definitely gold. Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna.
Oh,
be
definitely gold, right?
It's even got some little stones on there.
Yeah, it's got like
rubies
what do you call? Not rubies. They're the bluestone.
Okay.
God dang. God.
Oh, it's got all different colors: green, red, blue. It's like one of those mother rings, maybe.
Right, red mother ring, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to think of. It's probably 14.
I wonder how old it is. It looks like an older style.
Is old. Hey, I'm telling you, everything I've been taking out of here is old. That's an old ring. That ain't no ring that got lost in the last 5 or 6 years, I guarantee.
Wow. Well, folks, I mean, I don't know what else you can say, but that's about my 4th target here. So, so far, it's working. Back at you if we get something else. All right, Mike just got a signal here. I double checked it with the Equinox. It might be a penny or a dime. It was that kind of signal. So Mike's using the SE Pro. Now, where'd it go? There. Oh, I just heard it.
In that hard pan right there.
Nice if you got a barber or seated, huh?
It'd be great.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's a little deeper signal there. That's good. Very good.
Well, that's kind of making me think it ain't a coin.
I got something over there that was really funky. Came in as a nickel, and it was super, super deep, but it was a pipe or something. Oh, I see it. It's a harmonica reed or something. It sure is. Look at that. Wow.
Now, that thing was pretty deep.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a neat old find, though. All right, still out here hunting with Mike, and neat little spot here. I've got that ring, and I've got a few other little just pieces of junk. Mike got a harmonica reed, so it's an older area, and I thought I was going to get a dime. I had like a 28 going on the Equinox here, and I popped this thing out of the ground. So that's pretty awesome. 2 pieces of jewelry in one hunt, and that looks like it's got some age to it. So probably going to show that to my mom and my wife, and they're going to want to claim that. So we'll see. Might have to keep that one a secret. All right, this came in as a solid 19 on the Equinox, and I'm not really sure what it is. Some kind of piece of copper. I thought it might be a harmonica reed, but I don't see any holes in there. So anyway, keep going. This came in as a solid 9 on the Equinox. So some kind of little piece of, looks like camp lead actually. So all right, at you on the next one. All right, this came in as a solid 13, and looks like it's some kind of copper scrap off of something. So the side's kind of folded over there, so thought it might be a nickel, but whatever it is, it's old. All right, back at you in the next one. All right, that was an 18 on the machine. I was kind of bouncing 15, 18, so a ring pull. There you go. All right, that just came in as a solid 18 pull tab. All right, that came in as a solid 14, and if I had to guess, I would say it looks like it's some kind of a lead seal. It's kind of heavy, so I don't see any writing on there, but not all those seals had writing on them. So at any rate, that's what I think it is. Keep going. All right, came in as a solid 25. Looks like we got a copper memorial. It's an old spot. I would have thought it might have been an Indian or a Wheatie at least, but I think somebody stripped out the majority of the high conductors in here. I'd say 80 to 90% of the signals I've been getting are low conductors, a few zinc pennies, some iron. But this is the first copper penny I got out of here, so that's a good sign, I guess. It could have just as easily been old. But what I'm liking about this Equinox, the pinpointing on it's awesome. I'm coming from 3 and 4 tone F75 racer impact multi-cruiser machines, so I'm using the 50 tone because I know, you know, the guys that run the E-Trax and Explorers and whatnot, they're running the multi-tone like that and getting those high-end fluty sounds, which I'm hearing on this once in a while and getting like what I just dug. So definitely I'm gonna try and stick with the 50 tone for now, and it's not super busy in this area, but so it's a good area to play with it and learn. But I'll tell you, after coming from using those other machines that I mentioned for many years, the last time I touched a Minelab was probably 6 years ago. I had an E-Track and I did not find it to be a great relic machine and a lot of iron, so I got rid of that and used different machines for that purpose. So definitely a learning curve here if you're coming from those other, you know, I don't want to say simpler machines, but machines that have only, you know, 2, 3, 4 tones, for example, and you go into this, it's definitely different. But so far I will say that I'm enjoying it, but I feel like I'm lost half the time, so lots to learn. I kind of feel like the learning curve won't be too bad on it. You just need to put the time in and play around with it. So looks like I'm hunting in Park 2, and that's it. I haven't changed any other settings on there. So noise cancel, Park 2, off to the races. And I'm hunting with a friend of mine that's he's a legend here, Mike Walding. That guy's been detecting since I was in diapers, and he's an amazing detector. So he's out here running his SE Pro Minelab machine, and we're comparing some signals and whatnot. So he said they did previously out of this same spot, they got another gold ring and a Merc and some Indians and whatnot. So we're just going back over it and seeing what we can get. All right, back at you. Next good signal here, or bad signal. Had a few of those too. All right, that copper memorial I just dug, little did I know that was going to lead to a coin spill. Unfortunately, there's a couple more coppers in there, but mostly zincs. So bummer it wasn't a coin spill of Indian heads or Wheaties. That would have been pretty cool. So anyway, back at you the next one. All right, first one of these I've dug, and it was a pretty jumpy signal, but at least until I get a grip on this Equinox here, I'm going to dig everything. So hopefully the guys that have already had theirs for a while have figured out the tricks on how to not dig these guys. So looks like a good vintage though. All right, back at you in the next one. All right, I have no idea what the signal is, other than it sounded really nice with that kind of high fluty tone like my buddy gets on his Explorer 2 and gets wood. So it's out of the hole. I'm gonna go into the pinpointer and we'll see if it's something good. Well, there we go. Okay, it is a copper memorial. Wow, okay, not even a wheat penny at that. So, but that thing was bouncing up into like the, started off as a 28, and it seemed like when it got out of the hole it was coming in like a solid 32. So anyway, false alarm. Back at you in the next one. All right, that locked in as an 18, and I'd say that's probably like a lantern part or something on that order. So all right, on to the next one. All right, this signal was a little bit bouncy. It's kind of locking in the low 20s, but a little bouncy. I'm gonna check the hole. There might be some more junk in there, but looks like it's some kind of a brass thing there that's smashed. I don't know if it was a button. Almost looks like it might have been a little bit threaded on there. So, but it came in real nice. I think this thing's gonna love buttons. I've been getting all kinds of like little bits and pieces of brass and things that definitely, if they would have been buttons, they would have definitely jumped out of the machine. So at any rate, back at you the next one. All right, that came in as a solid 18. I mean, that machine was excited on that piece for sure. So who knows what it was, but it definitely has some age to it. So one thing I'll definitely say that I like about the Equinox is the pinpointing is awesome on this thing. So I remember when I had my E-Track, the pinpointing was awesome on that machine as well. And my F75, the pinpointing was surgical on that thing, even with 11-inch coil on it was awesome. But to be honest, the machines I've had since my F75 have had less than stellar pinpointing capabilities, unless you just do the old school, drag the tip of the coil off of your target and dig that, which works just fine. But the actual pinpointing on this one is killer. It really works well. So at any rate, I'm actually covering the area. Mike had to leave, so they actually had their club meeting tonight, and I'm covering the same patch that he covered. We kind of like more or less covered half and half of this little spot. And so that area, that target I just dug, he probably skipped it, probably didn't think it was worth it or whatever. And I'm just gonna go back over the area he went through and see, if maybe there's something that he skipped over or didn't get his coil over or whatnot. So anyway, back at you on the next one. All right, that's kind of cool. This was coming in at a 22. It was a little bit bouncy, but once you got it centered in there pretty well, it locked in pretty nice. And it looks like it's some kind of a little lock plate or something in there, would be my guess. So who knows, maybe there's buried treasure here. All right, solid 16 and got a ring pull. All right, I was getting a signal that was bouncy. It was in the like 28, and then I dug out the hole and it was coming as a 32, and it was down there pretty deep. I mean, you can see the carrot top there. It's all the way in. So not just the tip on this one, it's all the way in. Anyway, whatever it is, it's right here. So I don't know if it's a button, a coin, or a coin. It's definitely seen better days. So a hole in the middle. Well, copper washer. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Copper washer, but that thing was pretty deep. So all right, on to the next one. All right, that came in as a solid 16. Looks like a shaker lid there. So cool. All right, not really sure why this area seems to be coughing up jewelry. Not a lot of coins. I think somebody's already been through here and dug all the high conductor easy stuff and left all the mid and low conductor stuff. But this just came in like a 24, so I was thinking maybe it might be a penny, but looks like it's some kind of brooch. It's probably costume jewelry, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'll hope for the best and clean it up when we get home. It looks kind of cool, little owl right there, and the back's got a little bit of gold color, so I don't know, no idea. So we'll clean it up when we get home and show it in the wrap up. All right, this is my first hunt with the Equinox. Got about all of about 4 to 5 hours on it so far, and it's a totally different machine than pretty much anything I've used before, so it's going to take a little while to figure out the different search modes and settings. And today I just hunted in field 2 and didn't change anything, just all stock settings, just a noise cancel and off to the races. So as you can see, I definitely did dig some iron, so some of that sounded pretty good. So it doesn't seem like any machine is immune to that, and it's quite possible that once I learn some of the more advanced features on there, like the iron bias and reactivity speed settings and whatnot, maybe you can cut down on some of that. So things I like about this: the pinpointing's awesome, the audio is very good on there, it definitely locks onto pure targets very nicely. The target ID is pretty stable. I did get some deep stuff, 2-3 shovelfuls to get to the target, so that was impressive. But I did take a lot of iron, so we'll see if there's some options on there that I can get dialed in better to work around digging that. I don't like that if it's a surface target, it doesn't really have the ability, it seems, to differentiate. So other machines I've used, if it's a surface target, it'll either get an overload or you'll get a blaring signal, but this one does not seem to differentiate. From what I'm noticing, it doesn't actually seem to modulate the audio until you get down maybe about 5 or 6 inches, and then once you get, you know, past that threshold, then it seems like it will give you, you know, a lower audio volume on the signal, so you do get some modulation from it, but it'd be nice if you got a little bit more, in my opinion, especially on those surface targets. So hopefully that's something they'll fix in the future. Seems like that'd be an easy fix, because pretty much every machine I've ever used, it's pretty typically easy to differentiate a surface target from something that's deeper than 5 or 6 inches. So at any rate, lots to learn on this so far. I think it's a winner, but lots and lots of testing to do. I can't wait to take it out to the desert and take it to some of my relic sites, and I think for me that's going to be the real test. From what I've seen online, it's doing great at the beach, so we do live pretty close to the beaches here, so definitely be doing some beach hunting here. Hopefully when there's some erosion vents, and give it a test and see what it does at the beach. So at any rate, that's about it. I'll put some fines at the end after I clean them up. Had a good day. Can't believe I got a gold ring right out of the gate. You want to talk about beginner's luck? That's beginner's luck if I ever saw it. So usually it's somebody else that does that, in my experience. It's almost never me. So, but did make some nice finds. I'll put them in the wrap up, and we'll go from there. All right, we're going to do the wrap up on the Equinox 800's maiden voyage out today, and we're going to start off with the junk. So as you can see here, we get a fair amount, right? We've got some bottle caps, crown caps, ring pulls, beaver tails. I don't know what was up with these screws, but those things were right on the surface, and those things were kind of a pain in the butt. And we got some aluminum caps, Mickey's Big Mouth. So I'll skip that. We'll go over here. Here's kind of the relic-y thing. So here we have that shaker top. There's a pencil eraser, and this thing here, I don't know, maybe part of a car or something. This thing here was kind of interesting. It looked like a rock. Mike ran his machine. He's all, no, something's in there, and we looked at it, and we could see a little bit of copper. So I think it was some kind of a rivety thing with the center was iron, and the iron all just kind of broke out, and it clotted up and it looked like a rock, until I was able to kind of clean it off a little and see some kind of a rivet or something in there. So light bulb fixture, some junk. So lantern part right down here. That's a lantern part. There's that lock plate. That's cool. This, I think, is a little heel plate, like a toe tap, but for the heel kind of deal. I've got a part of a harmonica reed there. So this thing here, I got a live dig of it, and I thought it was a copper washer, but actually under a loop, it looks like it might be a token, but it's just toast. It's really, it's eaten up. So, but I think that was a token. I wish it hadn't gotten so trashed. A lot of little things here. Some of these little copper washers were super deep. I couldn't believe it. This rivety thing here, this thing, I could not believe how deep this thing was for a small target like that. So this thing's going to do great on buttons, no doubt about that. Got a couple of quarters, a nickel, a dime, a whole pile of zinc pennies. some copper memorials, and actually managed to get a couple of wheat pennies. So overall, I'm gonna say for a first hunt, that's not bad. So, okay, now the prizes. So first thing was this little owl. The owl's pretty cool. He turned out to be costume jewelry though. So then the next thing is this brooch. I think that brooch is beautiful. Definitely Victorian all day long. So then, this is the most gaudy earring I've ever seen. So I wish it had been gold or something, but looks like it was plated. But yeah, that's nice. That's lovely. So the prize of the day was definitely this ring. So that was like the 4th or 5th target right out of the gate. So, and we think it's actually pretty old. So it's 18 karat gold. It's marked inside. It's got some weight to it. And it's got pink, blue, and green stones. So that's pretty exciting. Total beginner's luck, but I'll take it. So at any rate, definitely happy so far. The Equinox, lot to learn. I mean, I just hunted in field 2, all default settings, noise cancel, and then got busy. But other than that, I didn't fiddle with any adjustments. I did do a couple noise cancels throughout the day just to make sure it was all set up correctly and running as well as it could. But I never had any interference. The thing ran very smooth, to be honest. This area wasn't super trashy. I think a trashy park might be a whole different ballgame with this machine. But you can see from the finds, it seems like it did just fine. So we got a lot of targets. That probably represents about, I'm going to say about 5 hours of hunting. So, all right. Thanks for watching, and so far looks like it's a pretty good machine. We will definitely put it through the test at some relic sites and see how it does there.